right, everybody, welcome back to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we break down movies of the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. We are currently watching minute number 32 of Heartbreak Ridge. I am your co host, Jack, and with me is Brian Lockhart.
Hello.
Yeah. We are continuing the conversation with Aggie and Tom Highway in the bar, and we end the minute with somebody that may actually be able to take the King Douche throne away from Major Powers.
You might be onto something there.
So anyway, yeah. So I guess the minute opens up, she gets to continue her lines, and I know everybody is waiting with bated breath. Should we just wait till the end of the minute to actually tell what the lines of dialogue are?
Oh yeah, we got to make sure everybody listens to the end, right?
Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Hey, stay tuned, and we'll tell her what she said.
Couple commercial breaks in between, you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's just end the suspense. Bad whiskey, bad sex, and bad men. I never forget.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Tom was trying to get along with her. I mean, well,
Early he just ordered, and that's all. And of course, that I think that was his. Remember last minute I mentioned, why do you think she'd actually forget his brand? Like, how long has it really been? It may
right.
have been a few years. It's possible.
Yeah.
But anyways, that also just may have been his opening banter, is just small talk,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying. Yeah, hey, remember, it should be a fairly non-confrontational topic. Kind of say, hey, remember, you remember,
Yeah.
But that being said, she immediately turned around on him, and he's, I, you know, I his response is, "You talk dirty like this when we were married." And she said, "Always, only you were never around to hear it."
Yeah.
I gotta say, before doing this minute by minute, I always took this line from Clint Eastwood as him being a little like offended or like judgmental of her. Like,
Yeah.
you always talk like this, like listen to you, which is ironic, is he's filthy.
Yeah. Exactly.
But watching it for this minute, taking notes, and of course we've watched it several times, and I've watched it several times. He doesn't say, there's no tone of that at all. That was just me reading into it. He
Yeah.
literally just flat out is almost like almost not he's not laughing, but he's still in a fairly good mood. And he's like, "Hey, you
He's
always talk
playful.
like this?" Yeah, exactly. He's playful. You always talk like this, and but she's pretty curt with him.
Yeah.
She's not as playful. She's not
No.
exactly as thrilled to see him as he is her.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that a few times myself.
Milady.
No.
How come we only ever date when I see you at your work?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
So yeah, but that's the thing. He still has affection for her, and you can see it in the look on his face. She tries to kind of exit the conversation. He but this is where of course all the SJWs will be like, hey, he put his hand on her, and pulled her back.
Right.
To hold her back to keep her from he's like, "Hey, come on, I just want to catch up or whatever." But the good thing is she wants none of it.
No.
She immediately is like, "What the hell you doing back here?" I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, she gives it right back to him. She wants none of his bullshit.
No.
She's fed up. She's like, "Jesus Christ, what do you want? My feet hurt. I'm tired. I've been on my feet all day." And he's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Well, I'm back with Recon." She's like, "Oh, and you just happen to come into this bar, huh? Ain't life grand?" Super
Yeah.
sarcastic, you
Yeah.
know. And it's no Casablanca of all the bars. Why does she have to come into mine?
Yeah.
Of course, I like his Jesus Christ. He goes, "I only wanted to have a beer, and you're already fucking ragging my ass."
Yes. In true to form. I just want
Yeah,
a beer, lady. Please just leave me alone.
I do. I do find it funny though, because like I can kind of see it from both ends, where it's like clearly they didn't have a good breakup.
No.
So he's coming in and like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah. Yeah.
He's trying to be nice and talk to her, but then at the same time, she's like, "This is the wrong. It's the end of the night. I'm on my feet." I mean, in real life, Marsha Mason's 12 years younger than Gunny Highway, or than Clint Eastwood.
Right.
But they're supposed to be the same age.
Yeah.
She's not a young lady. She's cocktailing on her feet all day. She don't want no bullshit.
Yeah. I don't want any nonsense.
Well, because she even says, like, he's like, "Well, I recognize you coming or going." She's like, "Save it for your bimbos."
Yeah.
I think that's when she's like, "What, what are you even doing back here?" Then after that, he's like, "Oh, I recognize you coming or going." That's why actually when he pulled her back because he was trying to hit on her a little bit more.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think he's like quote unquote hitting on her. I think he's trying to be nice. He
Yeah.
just doesn't know how to
How?
do it. Yeah. And she
Yeah.
doesn't want any of that bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I think she said, "Save it for your bimbos."
Yeah. Yeah, it's a ploy. He's drinking Lowenbrow. Is
That's
that
what I
his
was
brand?
I guess so. But what was he drinking on the bus
Uh,
though? It wasn't that.
it was a Mexican beer.
Yeah.
It wasn't Corona. It was it
Oh,
Dos
don't mention that.
oh, it was on Dos Equis. Was it Sol? I don't remember.
No, it was man, I can't remember now, but it's a really crappy beer.
Yeah, I haven't had too many. Oh, Modelo. Was it Modelo?
Modelo. I think it was Modelo,
Yeah.
right?
It might have been, yeah.
I don't know. We'll just go with that.
You know what? If there's only a way for us to go back and find out what
Yeah.
minute.
You know, and we could pause this recording, you look up the minute, unpause it. Nobody would ever know. I'm not doing that.
No, no, that's all right. Big Jim will come to the rescue and he'll let us know what it was. And
Yes.
yeah.
So I obviously know what a bimbo is.
Hmm.
Uh, but I'd like to go. I've gone to Urban Dictionary a few times, and I wanted to see what they said. Couple things. So the first definition, top definition is a physically attractive but unintelligent woman. And they said an example of this is Paris Hilton.
That would also be true.
Alright, so I just thought it was funny, but that is I mean, there's nothing special, nothing funny about that. That is basically what a bimbo is.
Yeah.
Now what I did find funny is, have you ever heard of Bimbo bakeries?
Yeah, they make little treats.
Yeah, exactly. I found out years ago that they're not bimbo bakeries, it's actually pronounced Beambo bakeries.
Oh, boo.
But I still call it bimbo bakeries because I think it's
Yep.
funnier.
Right.
So one of the third definition is a Mexican bread and pastry company. But where it gets funny is how they use it as an example. Man, do I love eating bimbo. I know what you mean. I just banged one last night, and man, was she good. No, not like a girl bimbo. Bimbo like the bread company. Yeah, I know. That's what I was talking about. Dude, what the fuck? I don't even want to do with bagels. So thank you, Urban Dictionary. So then I found another example of using bimbo in a sentence. And this one made me laugh. It was an example of what bimbos would say. Bimbo number one, let's go to Abercrombie and Fitch. Bimbo two, okay, let's stay there until our ears bleed. Bimbo number one, the music is lava. Who cares? It's so cool. Bimbo number two, totally. Let's stay there till our ears bleed. All right. Aggie and Clint, yeah, are kind of, they're clearly having she's agitated and he's like, Jesus, get off my ass type thing.
Mm,
And then the knight in shining armor walks up to Aggie's defense.
yeah.
He's also a milady guy too. Is this man troubling you, milady?
Yeah.
This is this 6'5.5" charming Roy Jennings.
Jesus Christ, he's a tall.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, too bad. It's surprised you don't hear like when he walks in the door, fee fi fo fum.
Roy Jennings shows up and he asks if, Aggie if everything's okay, and she said no, no, everything's fine. She's like, this is one of my favorite exes. And Tom Highway introduces them. They shake hands, and she mentions that Roy is running he owns the palace now. But when he walks up, he immediately he's got his arms crossed, and if you notice, he's got his fist clenched, and
Yeah.
he's like he looks stern, like he's ready to pound this dude.
Oh, yeah.
When he finds out who he is, when she introduces him as Tom Highway, he gets a shit-eating grin on his face and shakes his hand and says, "Well, I've heard all about you and your bullshit heroics."
Yeah. Clearly not a fan.
No, scene ends or minute ends anyways. The scene's not over. So Clint, of course, does give him a dirty look right before the minute cuts off. So
Yeah.
I think there's more to these guys.
Yeah. Definitely not one of the Tom Highway fan club.
No, not at all. He he couldn't. It seemed like he couldn't wait to give a little dig at him once he realized who he was.
Yeah.
So I looked up who Roy Jennings because he looks super familiar to me. I know I've seen
Yeah.
him before more and then in this movie, and it turns out I was right because well, first off, his name is Bo Sevenson,
Yes.
and with a name like that, you'll be shocked to learn he was born in Sweden.
Oh. Oh, is that so?
Yeah, and his birth name was Bo Ragnar Svensson.
Jesus. They grow
So
them tall out there, man.
no kidding. Not only that, but with a name like that, he should be on Vikings.
He should be.
I think Ragnar's a cool name, but that's only because I like Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting about him is you're looking at a fellow jarhead.
Really?
Yeah, so he came over to the U.S. He immigrated to the U.S. on his own when he was a teenager, and a few years later he joined the Marine Corps. He was in the Marines from '59 to '65.
Oh, wow.
There's no mention. I was trying to find. I didn't. I guess I could have done a little more deep dive on him, but there was no mention if he saw any combat because Vietnam, was starting to pick up slowly in
Yeah.
that time frame for us, for the U.S. So it's possible, but there was no mention of it that he was over in.
If he was in country or not.
Right. So and again, I didn't do too much of a deep dive, but I just thought that was neat because after he had an honorable discharge, he went and got a PhD in metaphysics.
Wow.
Well, he was in pursuit of that, I should say. But then he was cast in the revival of South Pacific. So I'm not sure if he actually finished his degree or not because he got a job.
Wow.
So he's been in a ton of things. That dude's still working. He's in Kill Bill. He's in Inglorious Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason he's in that is because he's one of the main guys in the original Inglorious Bastards.
I've never seen the original.
Me neither, but if IMDb is not lying to me, it said that. Yeah, but you know where I know him from mostly, besides this movie, is he is the captain of the airplane that gets hijacked in the movie Delta Force with Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's another movie I hadn't seen in a long ass time.
That movie's great though.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the theme song and everything.
But I mean, he's just been in a lot of things. Of course, he made his obligatory Jag appearance.
Yeah.
He played Buford Pusser on the TV show of Walking Tall. In the '80s, they did a TV. It looks like it was one season. He was Sheriff Buford Pusser.
Oh, wow. Walked around with the stick.
Yeah, and I saw a little note that mentioned he was the highest paid television actor next to Johnny Carson at that time because of
Oh,
because
wow.
of that role.
Oh, wow.
For whatever reason they must have really wanted him. Yeah, so the guy's working. He's still working, and man, he's a mountain of a man. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's giant. Jesus.
But yeah, he's definitely a douchebag in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could give Clint Eastwood a run for his money, it looks like, just from his sheer size.
Yeah. Just the size of the man. Yeah.
As he would have said as Philo Beto, he's sizable. Do you have anything else you want to cover in this minute?
No, man, this is a pretty quick minute. There's really not a whole lot going on.
No, it's just the banter back and forth between formerly married spouses. We get a third party that wants to, get in the mix. And in the background, we get Stitch Jones still singing his song.
Yeah, still going away.
Well, given that it's Friday, I'll say we'll end the minute here. we'll do a few plugs before going and let everybody come back on Monday. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so first and foremost, for Friday, I'll just go ahead and try to remember on every Friday to thank the Star Wars Minute crew for starting this and allowing everybody to literally steal their idea.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank all of our listeners for listening and ask them that if they don't already, join us on the Marine Corps Movie Minute Quarter Deck page of Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at the Marine Corps Movie Minute. Or no, we're the MCMM podcast on Twitter. We're the Marine Corps Movie Minute Pod on Instagram, if anybody wants to follow us there. And oh, that's the other thing. Check out moviesbyminutes.com for other movies by minutes for pretty much any movie you're interested in.
Yeah, I mean, you can get lost in a rabbit hole in podcasts pretty quick on that site. There's a lot of good stuff to listen to. There's worse ways to spend your free time,
That's true.
even your busy time.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, because I constantly have a podcast in my ear if I can help it.
Right.
Music, what's that? I want to listen to
Yeah,
other people talk about the same crap I talk about.
exactly.
All right, well, join us back on Monday. We'll pick up with minute 34. Got any closing things you want to touch on, Perry, before we go?
No.
Heard all about you and your bullshit heroics. Hey, I'm trying to do a podcast and you're ragging my ass.